What's going on, everybody? It's October 31st, 2022, the log episode 41. And today we're going to cover US 500, what took place. And this is a great learning day, something that is predetermined and easily identified, because coming into the week, I told you all these type of weeks will create a lot of uncertainty. And off the backbone of Friday with a large range day, you can expect consolidation, seek and destroy environments. And these type of days used to hurt me so much. And I'm so thankful now that I have this experience and I can identify it. I can exit the market with no losses, no wins, and just walk away clean. And it's something that either A, you're going to learn through your own experience, or B, you can learn from somebody like me or somebody else who has been around these markets with these concepts and can kind of help guide you and help you see before this unfolds. Because if I didn't know about how large range days lead to consolidation, small range days, how FOMC, NFP create these type of environments, I would have taken so many losses today, which I have before in the past. So it's an amazing learning day. The reason I have my Telegram up is because I'm just saying how don't test your luck in these environments. Please do not test your luck. Do not try to be a hot shot. Now, I will say this. Going into tomorrow, I think tomorrow can actually be a really good day, hopefully. And my idea for the week is tomorrow we can capture our pound of flesh and be done for the week. We have 9 a.m., or at least my time, 9 a.m. news, USD, and I think that's going to be the catalyst. So I believe the model and the entry will form before or right after the news takes place. And I think that will be the best opportunity. I think the environment is setting it up for that. Now, there's no guarantees, but to me, the way price is looking, I do believe tomorrow will be a lot cleaner than today. So going into the daily chart, the daily order block still remains. We did not touch it. And if you've been following along with my Telegram and the weekly forecast, I said how I need the daily order block to be traded into in order for me to start considering longs. And we got close to it, but never touched even the premium end there. So that was a huge, I guess, identifier for me today that I shouldn't even be trading. I shouldn't even be looking for longs until we even get into this area. And even if that, I still need the model to form. So looking at the 4-hour, we traded down into this fair value gap. I traded right about the equilibrium of it. I don't think the 4-hour gives the clearest view of things. I think the 2-hour gives a really nice view of things. This is a breaker pattern. I really can't identify a very clean breaker, so I'm going to use the order block with the fair value gap. So all of these down close candles are on the daily time frame, you can clearly see the bullish order block. But I'm really going to be paying attention to this fair value gap, and especially the 1-hour. I think that would be ultimately the best setup. Now, obviously price will change overnight, but this is what I'm looking for. Now, inside of this fair value gap, we're looking for that YouTube model to form. So we're looking for that displacement on lower time frames, fair value gap, and a discount. And then we go long into the buy side liquidity resting at 39.20. So there's so many confirmations for me. And these type of environments can create a lot of FOMO, or at least used to, because I know the direction. I know where price wants to go, and I'm fairly certain on it. And my old self would want me to chase this, which I'm just staying still. I'm waiting for the model to form, which I know it will. There's the opening gap, which also exists on ES, the futures contract. So a lot of good confirmations, a lot of buy side liquidity resting here, a lot of sell stops as well. I think we can create that nice Judah swing, create that low of the day, and then we can set the high of the day tomorrow. And I think running into Wednesday FOMC, we could see that daily fair value gap all the way up here we traded into. So going down to like a 30-minute, there wasn't much. Coming into London, there was a nice sell-off, but besides that, as soon as we got into New York, there was nothing. It was extremely sloppy. I'll replay it and walk it through just for the sake of it. So this is what it was looking like coming into the open of the day. So overnight, we dropped down, had a pretty nice displacement, returned back into your bearish order block here inside of a premium. And I was looking at this coming into the New York session. If you look at, I believe, a 15-minute, little nice balanced price range resting there. And I believe we went ahead and used that to send price lower. Even the delivery of it was quite sloppy, so nothing that super significant that I was mad about missing. So I was just watching order flow and seeing how we were trading today. The open, volatility was really nice. And I was thinking that maybe we could come down into that 1 hour fair value gap right around here. And then we just immediately kind of turned around. At that point, I was just kind of neutral. I was like, I'm not going to chase these longs. I don't trust it. And some of you may have done that today. Some of you may have been in here chasing these longs. And what's the reasoning why I wouldn't go long in this area? Because it never reached into that daily bullish order block. That's the first criteria. If it reached into the daily bullish order block and didn't reach into the 1 hour fair value gap, that would have been okay for me. But the premium end here, the discount of the fair value gap, this is actually the high of the bullish order block. So let's just say in an instance that this is a little bit lower than the high of the daily bullish order block and we tapped into that, then had a nice displacement, maybe I would have considered longs. But the daily bullish order block is a huge context to me. And looking at the 5-minute, there just wasn't anything even in here for me to really go long. I was looking at this, just watching order flow, seeing how we're respecting it. And at times like these, the way you kind of keep yourself calm, at least for me, is like, you know what, if it reaches, let's say it just went into the buy side liquidity and it flew up today. Honestly, I really wouldn't have cared because it never met my criteria. And that's what I'm saying with discipline and rules and following your system. It protects you. There's times where, you miss out on moves, but majority of the time it protects your ass from taking losses. So, even in here, there was nothing really significant for me to want to go long personally. On the short side, there wasn't anything to really want to go short from the open. So overall, just a range bound day. You can see how we ended up was just strictly inside of consolidation. We've just chopped around. So after we took out the buy stops and we displaced lower, that was immediately for me like a complete no. I knew immediately we'd probably go range bound because you're returning back into basically the equilibrium of that range, and I don't like that. So maybe some of you saw these shorts, but it just doesn't seem high probability. I would rather just wait for a nice setup. And if you've been following along, you should start to notice the high quality setups, what they look like. On Friday, you could see how nice the displacement was. You could see how easy it was to identify where price was going. You can't easily identify that in this market. There wasn't a very nice displacement. There was no really good fair value gaps with a discount. And that's how you can start trying to, figure out what setups are high probability versus low probability. And that comes through experience, that comes through logging and journaling these away, and then coming back to those study logs and revisiting them, and then putting it inside of your brain that you need to memorize what are good high probability environments versus low probability. So, yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I will update the morning with the analysis, and we'll just go from there. Until tomorrow, good luck and good trading, everybody.